Hi, so obviously we have an issue here at Malagna. Um, Obviously, the strikes have become an issue. Um, it's breaking down the business because without 100% of staff available for their shifts, their duties are becoming unfulfilled, and it's causing breakdown within the company. The jobs are not being done. And so this is a problem because the company has been trying to overcome this by making their good employees work harder, and even at their best levels they're just not able to cover for those who aren't available for the jobs. So this is a number one conflict. Another one is the strikes. The strikes have been outrageous. The strikes have been costing the business money. Even a union organizes employees to strike. And at one stage, a large range of employees struck on the one day, and this caused malfunction within the business. And it's said that only 11 people are the ringleaders of these strikes. And yet there are hundreds of people striking, so the company has been trying to resolve issues. They're trying to decrease strikes. They're trying to get the 11 employees to be dismissed from their positions, have limited access to the building while they're on suspension. But then the union's saying this is intolerable. This is discrimination even. You have to let these employees continue to work. And the business has been letting them work, but they keep making the same things happen. They keep wanting strikes. They encourage bad behavior within the business to the point where the managers are being put under abuse. So obviously, these conflicts needs to be resolved. So how can we eliminate these conflicts? Now these 11 people, they won't take whole responsibility for a whole organization's worth of movement. So who's striking is not 11 people. Who's striking is hundreds of other staff that are going along with the movements that these 11 people encourage. So we have to get the employees interested in the company and make them find out how important it is for them to do their roles, so to encourage interest in them performing their roles, because otherwise they're costing the business money and they're not even performing their roles efficiently. So what needs to be done? Do you just make a meeting room and gather all employees and do a lecture on how important it is for them to attend their work and complete their duties so that the company can progress? Will that eliminate the issue? No, but it might help them realize how important they are to the company. Another way to encourage employees is to give them rewards for good work. So one employee, gets a reward for showing up on time and doing a good amount of work. They brag to their friends, and then the friends think, hey, I want a reward. I want that bonus. So it will make them work harder. So we could introduce a reward scheme. But still, we've got strikes, and I'm surprised that the issue of a layoff or redundancy has not been brought up, because any company would want their misbehaving employees, or employees who just couldn't be bothered turning up to work because they want to strike. Anyone would offer the ones which are slacking off redundancy if it's covered over, if their behavior exists over a large period of time. But this would decrease jobs, and already the company wants to keep their staff, so redundancy isn't necessarily an issue. Punishment for the people who are causing this has been brought up many times, but the union steps in to say, hey, you're not allowed to do this, you shouldn't be allowed to do this. We're going to advocate for these people, and we're going to make an argument and a fight if you touch them. So obviously the company is at two ends. They're fighting not just individuals but a union as well, and they will go to courts to fight an issue which involves individuals. So to avoid lengthy court costs and things that will spike attention even of the media and news and give the company bad report, we're trying to avoid this. So punishing the misbehaving employees is not a direct resolution either. So we need some sort of negotiation. Maybe a meeting with these 11 employees to try and figure out what their problem is. Maybe they have a technical problem with the company. Maybe they have an ethical problem with the company. Maybe they dislike how it's run in a certain department. If you're able to find out what their problem is and try to negotiate with them to try and figure out how to give them what they want without spiking further confrontations, this can be done in a certain level, but no one knows if it will fully resolve. But it's worth a try. But you can also go to the policies and procedures. You can put it in a policy and procedure to be able to alleviate the issue by putting a policy or procedure that will directly eliminate the issue on some level. So maybe it would be a behavioral policy. Maybe it will be a work agreement. Whatever it is, it will have to be rather contractual. So something that really declares that a company will not continue to support any employee who wishes to raise havoc within the company. So who wishes you to discriminate against the company to be able to make a large issue out of something that should be quite small. So it could be a policy to get employees to respect the company more. And if an individual acts against the company to be able to breach policy, then that may result in immediate elimination of their job, etc. That kind of policy. We could bring up the subject of company discrimination within the policy, so it's not just individual discrimination, or we could bring a company policy to encourage support for the company, otherwise it's classified as discrimination, and so the result can be immediate elimination of a job because the employee is actually discriminating against the company. So while the employee has individual rights to protect themselves from discrimination by the company may need to implement a company discrimination right to protect the company from any individual, any person or group who wish to discriminate against the company. Because we both know this company, it has fairly good set values, policies and procedures. The company wants the employees just to act right, work on time, work their positions, which they have agreed to fulfill at entry into the company. The company wants efficiency from their employees. They're not wanting to tackle their employees or hate their employees or make it too hard for their employees. All they're asking for is efficiency. The company has spent $2 million to help upgrade their company, because just to make employees feel as though they're working in the best place. Now what the employees have to do is pick up their attendance, pick up their skill levels, and perform their job in return to the company trying to please them. They have to please the company. And so it's really important for the employee to be able to perform for the company. Otherwise, the company is not going to be running for very long, and they'll be working at a loss because the employees are acting up. We do have a behavioral policy. For those who are gambling, making rude remarks to management, distressing management, we can implement new behavioral policies which will go against any foul language, any harassment, and activities such as gambling will be banned. And this will help eliminate the discrepancies of the activities that staff are participating in, because it's just not on. Well, I think we pretty much discussed quite a bit today, and I'll take a note of this, see what we can do about these policies and procedures, and return to a second meeting in a couple of weeks' time. We seem to have an issue at Malaga. Their employees putting management under abuse, and they participate in activities in which have nothing to do with their job. There are also 11 employees who want to rouse threats against the company. This includes organizing strikes, using the union to support the strikes, and getting employees to conduct unruly behavior and attitudes against those within the company or those running the company. These are the issues. It's also costing the company a lot of money, to the point where the company is paying for employees to do a bad job and suffering. They've become bankrupt. They've taken out a loan which they put towards upgrading of the company. However, this is never going to be enough, not even with $2 million, until the employees are turning their work into productive work. The company needs employees doing their jobs for it to function. Now, I can vouch for my position. I'm a very good employee relations officer. I can help with this. What needs to be implemented is effective communication and negotiation techniques. So let us rank our priorities. What we probably need to do is meet with the 11 employees who continue to arrange for other employees to strike or conduct unruly behavior. We need to meet them one by one on an individual scale to discover what it is they want, what it is they're actioning against and why, when this started, and what will make them stop wanting to rile against the company. We also need to meet with the union to find out what action they would approve, because they are fighting with the 11 employees and those who want to participate in strike, and they are supporting that movement against the company. So what action would they want to stop supporting employees to strike and to start supporting employees to settle down? We also need to negotiate with those 11 employees what will make them want to refocus on the job and do a good job, or what will cost to buy them off their contract or employment. The company can give them a good remuneration package if they agree to a package to terminate their employment, really. That can be used only if the company are getting feedback from them to say that there's nothing that the company can do to make them focus on their job and do a good job. If they're against the company 100%, then the company will have to negotiate them off their contract or employment, or simply make amendments to be able to terminate them. We also need to organise a meeting with the other unruly employees, or employees in general. But focusing on the unruly employees, a meeting could be made for a gathering. So for all the unruly employees, attend in a large meeting room to be retrained on how to behave within the workforce, and to ensure that they are able to conduct their duties in a safe and secure manner. The company might also need to consider changing policies and procedure. Because obviously there are policies which have either not been implemented or which are being ignored. So the company needs to upgrade their policies and procedures so that they can ban gambling within the workplace or any activity which is not actually as part of the employee's job position. So that they can ban unruly behavior against the company or any staff member within the company. And they can ensure that their staff are exhibiting proper behavior within the workplace, which is polite behavior, respectable behavior, and not antisocial activities. The company could try to get a policy which will protect the company from being discriminated against by any employee. I mean, obviously employees have discrimination rights against any company, but they could want a policy for the company to protect the company from discrimination against by any employee, and if it's found that any employee is found discriminating against the company, then the company has the right to terminate their employment immediately if that grounds of discrimination takes place. So that's an idea as well. Obviously, with all that set in place, it should help make the company a lot calmer. But what we can also do is introduce a benefit scheme. So reward employees doing a good work and exhibiting proper behavior, and while dedicating themselves to their role and the efficiency that they produce when working. So the rewards program could help employees aim to do a good job. It might encourage employees to do a good job so that they too can be rewarded. The reward can be a bonus. The reward can be, anything the company wishes to give an employee. Some companies give employees holidays as a reward. Others give them gift certificates. But whatever it is, it can be set up to encourage good behavior and good work within the company, and that might reduce employees from wanting to act bad or misbehave or not show up for work. So it might encourage good attitude towards work and help encourage productivity from the employee and help them to attend their shifts on time. So these are just a few ideas. Obviously, we need to organise another meeting to discuss this again within a couple of weeks. But all these options should be considered so that we can get over this issue and continue on with business and progressing with business. Otherwise, the business is bound to fail in the end if we don't start getting those employees to shape up, because company does rely on employees' good performance and attendance to be able to function.